right, cameo time, Hank. Come here. Come here.
Cameo time. He's gotta get his camera action.
Tell him hi. Hi.
And you are the biggest bill of all.
You are. Mwah.
Oh my gosh. You're so expensive, Hank.
You are. You want to get a second dog.
I do. We should.
Just give me a baby first.
I will. And then I'm giving it up.
We believe marriage teaches us more about ourselves than we would ever find by only viewing ourselves from a distorted lens.
Don't believe us? Stay tuned if you dare to form a different opinion about yourselves from each episode.
This is Unfrequent Talks
with Jenny
and Aaliyah. Hi.
Hi, honey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Fabulous. So what are we talking about today?
Oh, so today it's a little, I think everybody can relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about how our parents, and this is our different point of views of how our parents' spending habits molded our past and present spending habits.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to get at.
Okay.
Because we've evolved.
Big time.
Like, I speak for me, like in the beginning of our marriage, when we first got married, I was really strong on hoarding money. I was like too afraid to spend money.
Yeah.
And you were the opposite. You're like open to spending money. And I think me hoarding monies is connected to my childhood because I don't ever want to say like, I think a poor mentality comes, I think the word poor or poverty stems from the mentality of how you handle money. Because I think everyone could have a nice, livable life if they manage their money properly. So I just think it's mismanagement of money. And so therefore, your kids aren't able to get certain things they want. Right. You know? So I say this because I think growing up, my parents probably didn't do the best at managing their money, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yep.
And that's fair. And I think because of that, I was a person that always tried to say, okay, this is what I'm not going to do, and I'm going to do this instead. And so instead of spending money and not having anything, I was all about always having that nice, hefty nest egg in any type of scenario in case any emergency hit, we were fucking golden. So that's my take. Well, that was my take. And I didn't come out of that mentality until like this year, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So for these 6 years we've been married, we're going on 7 years. I was really still about like saving. I mean, this is like this is probably the second year we've done an annual vacation. Yeah. Because the first year was Puerto Rico. I think that was like 22.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And so this is the second year. We're like, okay. And now I'm kind of like, okay, babe, I kind of like this. Like, we should keep this as a routine. Every year we take a nice week-long vacation.
Not every 2 years.
Yeah.
That's totally funny. It's for me, it was the same, you know, like the reason for my frivolous spending, I guess you could say. It was okay. Well, it's funny because my frivolous spending wasn't a lot of the times for me. It was for other people.
Yeah.
Like that was the love language that I liked to do. Not necessarily the one that I like for myself.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it's probably because like growing up there was such a attachment of happiness when it came to like materialistic things.
Mm.
And it was kind of just passed down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I liked making people happy by getting them things that they wanted or they talked about or whatever. I didn't care if I was like going broke doing
Holy shit.
it.
We are definitely opposites attract.
Like I did not care. I
Seriously.
was like, whatever.
And
The
that's
overdraft fee is gonna be fine.
oh no, 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 no. There's no such thing for overdraft fees for me. No, babe.
That
That
was
was
it
you
was for
though.
me though.
That
It
was
was
you. I
for
remember.
me.
Yeah, cause oh man,
Oh
I remember that
man.
Wells Fargo account.
It was negative something.
It was negative.
I know it was bad.
I remember when we first met, when we were dating, and I was like coming up to visit you, and literally changing my whole schedule to come visit you
Literally.
because you work nights.
Yeah.
And I come up, and your shift would started like 2:30, 3 o'clock, something around that time frame.
Mhm.
And we get up and get dressed for the day, and I'm like ready to head back to go back down to where I live. I'm like, hey, did you eat anything? Are you gonna eat? And you're like, no, I'm good. I'm like, you're really ready to go work a whole shift, and you don't think about that, like, so that
Nope.
it's funny because it goes back to our personalities. I'm a person that kind of thinks for the future a lot, and
Mhm.
you have the mentality of thinking for the now.
Yeah.
And I saw that then, and I still see it now from time to time. But I ought to say that you just didn't care. You're just like, it is what
Nope.
it is. I'll figure it out when I get there. And I was the opposite.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. I really didn't care.
No, not at all.
I didn't care at all. I was like, whatever. A paycheck is gonna hit eventually, so it's gonna fill it back up. That's so bad. It is so bad.
Oh my god.
It really don't. No, to be for real, it really did help. Like when we moved to Kansas, um, for your because that's where you got stationed or whatever. But it really did help because like I didn't have anyone to like spoil to give my money to.
Maybe we would have been arguing. Let me tell you.
Ah. But that's what I grew up seeing, like people asking for money, like, "Hey, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that?" Da, 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 da. And it was like very much, yeah, here, yeah, here, whatever. And even to this day, that's what I hear, with certain situations
Situations.
and stuff back at home. It's like, can I borrow this and I'll pay you back? Can I borrow for this and I'll pay you back? And da 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 da. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
I mean, you're speaking to the choir. I mean, I see the same thing. I think I'm kind of over that
Yeah,
because it's this sense of neglect at a certain point.
yeah,
It's kind of like you can't continue to milk this cow
right.
for everything that it has, with everything else they have to take care of.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of in that stage now where like I'm definitely open and willing to help our family if they need help, but
Mhm.
I'm also in this selfish era where it's like I have responsibilities, and even if I do have the funds, these funds are for me and my wife
Yeah.
and for our future, because that goes back to the other thing. I didn't grow up, nor did you grow up with your parents teaching you about putting money away for the future. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to just say retirement, because I think retirement is such an archaic term, because you don't know what you're going to do, when that time comes.
Right.
But you want to have money pushed away. So, I mean, I guess you can coin it as what it is, retirement funds. But I say that because oftentimes, that saying where people say, like, people act like money is burning a hole in their pocket, so they can't
Yeah.
hold money in their pocket. They have to go spend it.
Mhm.
So I've learned to, like, throughout our marriage, I've learned to, yes, money should exist in your accounts,
Mhm.
and then you want money to exist in your portfolios, obviously, for retirement, but you also want to have money available to spend leisurely on yourself for the
Yeah.
now. Because I didn't see that growing up. I always just saw bills, 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 bills was where money
Mhm.
was spent. It was never talked about when it came to like stocks or it came to like taking care of yourself. That was kind of like uh accessory. It's like
Mm.
if you can, you can. If you can't, then you can. It is what it is.
Yeah. That makes sense. And for me, it was like the opposite. There was my parents did have like some extra spending money. Um and well, I could only assume that they had extra spending money because there was new things constantly at the house, you know what I mean? And then we would go to Mexico every year.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, typically during the summer, if not like during spring break. Um we only went during Christmas like one year, and that was for my quinceanera. But so like I could only assume that they had some
You
extra.
had to, yeah.
But then again, I also know one year they did not, and we still went to Mexico, and there wasn't enough funds for us to come back.
Oh.
And so my dad had bought us, um, or had bought me and one of my other sisters like a Windows tablet, and he sold one of those to have some extra cash, and then he started working down there with his family to get some extra cash and be able to come home or whatever. But like that was crazy. I
Yeah,
think
it
that was the
is.
first time I really realized like, oh crap, like money's kind of a big deal.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like we actually need money. It doesn't just grow onto you. Like we don't just get to come every year because that's life.
Yeah.
Like, no, you guys are actually paying for this, and like, you guys could barely pay for it this time, but we're here, and now we got to do X, Y, and Z to
Hmm.
get back. So that was really crazy.
That
That I
is.
that I think that was the first time I actually like had a concept of money, probably
Okay.
because I knew like, oh, you get money, you can buy stuff with it, blah blah blah, and you have to use it, to like have a house,
Yeah.
food, blah blah blah. I knew that, but that was the first time where I was like, yeah, this is kind of a big deal.
That
money
is.
money is more than just being able to spend it on um things we want and
Mm,
necessities. Like you need money to do things like
yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Because if we didn't have money, we were going to be stuck in Mexico
Right.
for I don't know how long. So that was the first time I grasped a pretty solid concept of money. And that was maybe, I might have been like 13,
Hmm.
maybe. Yeah. And even then, we still didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. I don't think I actually had a conversation about money with my parents until we were married and we came to visit them back from Kansas.
Hmm.
I think the first time, and that was when my mom. That's when I was like trying to find a job,
Yeah.
and my mom was like, "Well, it's you really should get a job so you can help out and then also have a little bit saved up for whatever you want or just for yourself or for y'all together, blah blah blah." But that was the extent of that conversation.
Yeah.
There was nothing extra. There was nothing, no steps,
Because
no guidance, no nothing. It was like you should do that. And so it was.
that's all she knew.
That's all
That's
she
all she
knew.
knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all she knows. And going from like constantly spending money for other people,
Yeah.
um, and occasionally myself, to like being really disciplined, especially when you went to Afghanistan and I was by
Hmm.
myself for 9 months.
Hmm.
That was a really big kind of like, I don't know, it wasn't a slap in the face, but it was more like a light bulb
Yeah.
that instead of it just flickering on and off, it like turned on
Hmm.
fully. And I did what I did. I did what I had to
You did.
do.
So I want to backtrack to what you were saying. You were
Mhm.
saying how in your mind you kind of got the wake up call where you're like, oh, money isn't just I get to spend it on what I
Mhm.
want. I never had that point of view ever,
No.
ever. I've never had that point of view in my life,
Mhm.
and to this day, it's a little hard for me if I'm being honest.
Mm.
Um, because
Spending.
yeah, spending money like it's, and we'll get there because I do want us to kind of highlight where we are now with how
Mhm.
we feel about our spending, but to stay in the past for a little bit, like growing up, I always had like talks with my dad and my mom, just making sure like my essentials were paid for
Mhm.
or that I had money to, as like a little lifeline if I needed things to do. But that
Gotcha.
was more of all it was. That was the extent of that. Like
Mhm.
they didn't go into greater detail because in my opinion, that's all they know.
Right.
Um, but to that point, I never was one that thought past making sure I had a roof over my head and I had food and I could shower.
Mhm.
Like, and I guess it's because of, where I come from, like, growing up in the projects,
Mhm.
you're just trying to get by. That's kind of like the notion. And so now where we are, it's vastly different. And yet the mentality still kind of exists at times. So that's the tightrope I walk every now and so often because
Yeah.
there isn't a light bulb for me if I look at our accounts. I'm like, oh my God, I can go shopping. Oh my
Mhm.
God, I can go spending. And I don't think it's in you either now. I say that in a sense of a part of me still waiting for that to happen where
Mm.
she can kind of rest and be like, you know what, girl, go do this for yourself. Don't have your wife telling you, go do that. Like, you work so hard, go do it. But it's me still just kind of living in the past thinking like, what if that shoe drops?
Mhm.
But it's also me saying, what if that shoe drops? We have X, Y, and Z, so don't worry about it. So those
Mm.
two different entities are arguing with themselves
I can only
within me.
imagine.
Yeah.
Oh wow. To
So
this day.
I know to this day. So now we are on to this day. Where do you think we are? Or you can speak freely for yourself. Where do you feel like you are as far as your views on finances compared to your upbringing?
I definitely feel like I am more so aware of how much is exiting,
Yeah.
um, and how much to put away for savings,
Yeah.
um, than really worried about like spending it on other folks. Like I am definitely more selfish for us.
Selfish era.
Yes, I'm a selfish Sarah. You get a $5 gift. You get a $5 gift. But definitely, I definitely feel that way. Like, do I still think about other people? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But not in the sense where I'm like, oh my God, I have to get them exactly what they want. And exactly what they wanted was this $200 machine,
Hmm.
$100 this, $50 that. Like, no, it's like, oh, this is her favorite color sweater. Oh, this is her favorite color little trinket. Yeah, why not? Sure. It's like $5, $10, whatever. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's not like a constant though.
Uh-huh.
It's not like every time I see you, I gotta give you something. No.
Right.
And that's how I was before. So I definitely have matured
You are.
in my way of thinking about money. Like I make sure that all of the utilities and bills and stuff are paid
Yeah.
like at the beginning. I don't care if it's due at the end of the month. Like if it's there, it's getting paid at the beginning of
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that's true.
month. Because it's like, okay, now that is taken care of and we're good.
Hmm.
Now we can figure out everything on how much to put away for our savings because I know we both agreed that we want a specific number in our
Yeah.
savings account and we're almost there at one of them.
Yeah.
So, and it's not like for me, it's not a rush either. Like, oh my God, we have to hurry up and pay this car off and have to hurry up and have X amount in the savings.
Yeah.
It's just like you going and getting taken care of. And I don't know how it is for you. I know
Uh,
it's still, before you answer, I know it's still for me like I want to get it done, but it's not like I need to get it done right now.
yeah.
If not, my whole world is going to implode.
Yeah.
That's definitely not where I'm
I feel that.
at.
For me, I think the same way. Like when I'm looking at the accounts with you, I don't really necessarily think like, okay, we gotta hurry up and do this and do that because where we are now, we're in a
Mhm.
pretty good stable place where something's not taken a front and center uh what's the word I want to use?
Mhm.
Certain things that are in our accounts aren't taking like a priority. Like it's
Mhm.
not one thing that's like above this or above that. It's kind of like they're all at the same weight. They're
Mhm.
weighted equally. So for me, it's not really stressing me out. Plus, I want interest rate to go down before we do anything. So that's that. Anyways, um, yeah. I mean, I think my point of view with money is better.
Mhm.
Um, do I still am I still hesitant on spending money? Absolutely. Uh, that is something that I don't know. Maybe our therapist can help us
Yeah.
because I am still hesitant because I do have this mentality of I'm a very dominant alpha woman, and I'm all about taking care of our household to making sure that we don't have to want for any need. Like
Mhm.
that is something that I don't know. I think my dad ingrained in me, and to be honest, I'm not mad he did
Mhm.
because we've never wanted for any goddamn need. Let me just say that.
God
But
bless.
it's also come as a catalyst to me not wanting to go and do things for myself. Like, so that is something that I'm really still trying to get past without you having to tell me, hey, you should do that. Because then I'll go do it. But then I'm like, I only did it because she said I should do it. Like, damn, that's kind of pathetic. But
Oh.
but I'm getting there. But it's also another thing that I've come to realize
Mhm.
is I don't need anything to be happy. That's the other thing to it. It's like
Yeah.
I'm very happy within myself where I
Mhm.
don't need to go spend things and do all these other attractions or whatever activities. But it is nice to have like a hobby to do things. So yeah, it's a process. We're working
Absolutely.
through it.
Yeah, we're working through it. We're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We are gonna get there. I feel like you're right. That's definitely something that we should talk to our therapist about because you are very quick to be like, "Oh, babe, go take care of yourself. Go get your nails done. Get your toes done. When are you getting your hair done? Self care, you." And I'm like, "You should do the same." You're like,
I know. I look at you like, who are you talking to? You didn't say that. Yeah.
So as much as we don't need for anything outside of the house, materialistically, it's nice
Yeah.
to go and love on ourselves.
And that's what I'm learning.
Yeah.
I haven't absorbed that though.
Hmm.
Like I still haven't.
We'll get there. It'll be
We
fine.
will. We're gonna get there.
We're gonna trust me, because a baby is running around here. You'll lose your screws are loose. You about to lose your head. You gonna want some self care. You gonna be like, I need some me time. Goodbye.
Well, I think that's what I need then, babe.
You
Where's
want
my
a
baby?
baby so you can take care of her. That is so funny. Oh my god. In due time.
Anytime.
It's gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. I definitely feel like we have graduated into adulthood this year.
Yeah. Especially financially. Yeah.
Especially
Oh
financially.
my gosh.
Oh my gosh. I know.
Because we've gone through so much
Yeah.
in 6 years. Like I wouldn't have never imagined, but I'm appreciative of it, and I love
Right.
you dearly. But I'm happy we went through it, and we're coming out better on the other side
Yes,
of it.
absolutely. I'm happy we went through it too because now we know like both sides of the coin, you know? We know how it is to only have $500 to our names trying to
Absolutely.
start in like a completely different area.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what it's like to own two properties and
Yeah.
have consistent income coming in and all the bills being paid and enough money for food on the table and
A nice
then some.
vacation, whatever.
Hmm.
Yeah.
More than one vacation,
Yeah.
actually.
It is nice. I'm very grateful for everything we've been through because I think I have to attest to the experiences that we've gone through
Yeah.
that's helped us be better at our finances.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, there's all these different gurus that's out there that say, hey, I can teach you this, I can teach you how to manage your money better. But you truly don't understand how to manage your money until you reach rock bottom
Hmm.
and life starts to teach you all these different lessons
Yeah.
because we are really good at taking advantage of situations, thinking that we'll be better on the other side of it, knowing that the other outcome is an option as well. But we
Hmm.
like to see past it until it hits us in our face.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we're doing a really good job.
Me too.
And I appreciate my parents.
Me
Like,
too.
I love them dearly. This is no shade for them. I love them so
No.
much and I've learned so much. And I love that the other thing that I wanted to bring up is like I love that I can talk to my parents about these things and be like,
Yeah.
I'm doing X, Y, and Z now, and this is what this is. And they can be like, I'm so proud of you. Like,
Right.
you're doing a hell of a good job. You're doing way better than I was at your age. Like, that's a nice pat on the back for me,
Hmm.
for us, because this is our financial burden we carry together.
Hmm.
And I love that too.
Yes, I love it too.
That's
I'm
the one
grateful
thing we
for
do have
them.
in common though,
Mm.
is both of our parents always shared financial burdens together or financial
Yes.
responsibilities, like their accounts are always something that they both had eyes on.
Hmm.
And that's what we share as
Yeah.
well. It's like we have shared accounts. All our accounts are shared. There's no account that's not shared.
Exactly.
And we're very transparent with each other. And
Hmm.
we don't do tit for tat with each other when it comes to spending. That's a dumb game anyway, but we don't play that game,
Hmm.
and that's what I can appreciate too.
Absolutely. It's funny because we used to.
Oh yeah,
We
for
used to play
sure.
that. Yeah, that's something that we used to do.
Yeah.
And then the spur of the moment, we would always say, "Oh, we're just gonna have separate accounts."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember those days.
But now I mean, literally, like everything's together. I can't possibly imagine a life where we're separated financially, but married. That to me, like, and kudos to the people who make it work.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. That
Yeah.
is their life. They can do whatever they want. If it works for them, it works for them.
Yeah.
But I can't possibly imagine doing that with you because we are so intertwined. And
Yeah.
like, I trust you fully, you trust me fully,
Oh yeah.
and we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing.
Rocking out. Look,
That's it.
I ain't trust you when how these life insurance policies now.
Oh
I'm
my god. Jesus.
just
Oh.
saying, whole life's your best friend.
Yeah.
Um, I love it though.
Me too. I'm
I'm
grateful.
freaking proud of us.
Me too. High
We're
five,
doing
baby.
it.
Woo! Doing the damn thing. Mwah.